It's been a while since I sat down to do this because I've gone through a pretty gnarly transition of life. I have changed residences. I literally had to build a brand new computer from the ground up because my other one stopped being a computer. I named the new PC Reba, which I'm pretty excited about. Also, I have a really cool new t shirt from my love interest because she was like, since this is your favorite Dead song, you should have this t shirt. And it occurs to me that 3 weeks from today, I will be getting ready with that very same lady to go see a Sunday show at the Hollywood Bowl. With that said, the next couple of weeks, I've got 3 weeks to listen to as many studio albums as I can before I go to Hollywood. And after I do the studio albums, I want to kind of go back to the beginning and start going through live stuff that I just didn't hear. Maybe find some quintessential performances along the way, get really invested to the point that my heart gets broken when I watch whatever I can of the Coventry stuff, and then feel the spirit of rebirth and renewal when the band gets back together. That's kind of my plan, such as it is. But I'm going to hit the play button on this thing. Before I do, it's very important to me that you know that you are awesome, that you are valuable, that you are important, that you matter, that you are deserving of love, and that I am abundantly grateful for even a moment of your time. If you like what you see, feel free to hit the like and the subscribe button. It goes a long way to help me out. And if you really like what you see, leave a comment. I would love to hear from you, or join us on Twitch. I stream every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. Arizona time. Come hang out with us. Come discover music with us. We would love to have you by. I was fighting that the whole intro, by the way. My bad. Guys, yeah, Round Room by the Phish from Vermont. Thus far, easily the most polarized album that I've seen discussed in comments. So here we go. Let's check it out. Pebbles and Marbles. I love this already. All four of them distinctly getting a noticing. Love that bass tone. And kind of a jazzy thing going. Yes. Very much feeling this. It goes from like jazzy to bluesy. I gotta say, Phish on the drum work here is really exciting me. His ride work right now is great. What is it? I'm so glad I'm sitting page side. I love the drum work in this song. Ooh. Transition into it. That bluesy thing again. No? Kind of really quiets out. And you get
She started a blaze from one tiny spark I didn't even detect.
Okay, building her up.
The light was dismayed
Dropping
by
her
the
down.
dark. The stars, though, she seemed to respect.
She loved the light, was dismayed by the dark. The stars, though, she seemed to respect. I love it. I love
the
that.
faint light that flutters at night to the earth.
Like the moon or the stars.
Luminous creatures she'd find in the surf. I never thought to inspect. Pebbles
The
and marbles like
imagery.
things on my mind seem to get lost and harder to find. When I am alone, I am inclined, if I find a pebble in the sand, to think that it fell from my hand.
Pebbles and marbles seem like things on my mind, like things on my mind seem to get lost and harder to find. When I am alone, I'm inclined, if I find a pebble in the sand, to think that it fell from my hand. I feel like this could be interpreted a few different ways, right? Like there's this idea of like you step on a pebble in the sand and it hurts your foot, right? And in this context, in my just my mind's eye, my thought is like you dropped the pebble that you stepped on. And interestingly enough, it kind of screams to me like an idea of like self-destruction, um or even kind of like, you know, like almost like you're in the marbles thing on my mind, like pebbles and marbles like things on my mind. That almost makes me feel like you're losing your marbles, like this kind of idea. And like dropping a pebble, I don't know, there's a really juxtaposed connection there. And maybe I'm sitting here thinking too deeply into it, right? But like there's a beautiful imagery set out before you in this particular song, and I feel like you're getting kind of a little bit of little tiny bit like tidbits of the things that they've done up to this point anyway, right? It feels like they're kind of combining the things, and maybe into a kind of jack of all trades versus master of one sort of context. But I'm enjoying the blend of it, like going from the bluesy thing to the jazzy thing, having an element of a little bit of mustard. And when I say mustard, by the way, specifically to me, the mustard definition is like discordant, dissonant parts where you would like your friends would hear you, or a normie would hear you listening to it, and they'd be like, "What are you listening to?" Like to me, that's what the mustard is. And so, sometimes it's like because the timing is off, and sometimes it's because there's multiple keys happening, or sometimes it's because it's like there's a polyrhythmic element to it. Sometimes it's literally just because the sound is made to be intentionally uncomfortable. But that is in and of itself kind of my definition of the mustard. I really loved that line though. This right here. Wow. I'm really digging this, dude. I like that we're getting into kind of deep lyrical Phish again as well. Like it's
She
always
gave me ideas, planted the seed, but she never stopped to reflect. The course that she's on, wherever it leads, I never would redirect.
Ooh.
Pebbles and marbles like words from a friend, make us hold tight but are lost in the end.
I wonder what pebbles and
When we're
marbles are
alone,
intended
we
to mean.
all seem to tend, if we find a marble and dust, to wish someone left it for us.
When we're alone, we all seem to tend, if we find a marble in dust, to wish someone left it for us.
Pebbles and marbles like things on my mind.
Did we?
Seem to get lost.
Are we
and harder
repeating?
to
Okay.
find. When I'm alone, I am inclined, if I find a pebble in sand, to wish that it fell from my hand.
The difference there is different, right? I was thinking that they were starting over, but instead of saying to think that it fell from my hand, he's saying to wish that it fell from my hand, which presents a different set of imagery and a less self-destructive one potentially, right? In that context, the wishing that it fell from my hand almost gives it a hopeful concept. like you're shedding weight or you're not gonna throw stones. I don't know.
Marbles like things on my mind.
Things on my mind. That was good, huh? Huh?
To wish that it fell from my hands. And marbles like things on my mind.
Loved that.
Pebbles and marbles like things on my mind.
What was that? Getting a little mustardy. Definitely some mustard here. That's an E. Told you, that was an E. The speed is coming in. That one snare.
Marbles like things on my mind. Pebbles and marbles like things on my mind. Marbles like things on my mind.
You've got this thing just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And the guitar sound is, I feel a little bit more washed out than his normal sound. Like you're not hearing him strike the strings as much as what the strings are doing. There's a definitely bigger, like, I don't want to say bigger, but there is a more like washed out ambience to him, like the sustained feedback thing. But it's not like the same it's interesting. It's definitely like he's taken less of the machine gun style and put more into the kind of equipment utilization than the guitar, but it's filling out really nicely. I think it's a really nice combination of what he's his work up to this point, but certainly more jack of all trades versus master of one.
Marbles like things on my mind.
There it is. I love the bass so much. This song is a banger, dude. Phish is going ham hard, dude. The organ. a mustard jam finally. I'm really digging on this. You got these droning guitar sounds that are huge. So, okay, I feel like we've kind of gotten out of guitar solo territory now, so I don't feel so bad about pausing it after we've sifted through a good bit of mustard. I want to comment on the fact that getting back to jam element Phish in the album context is tremendous. This has been one of I think their strongest openers on albums. Period. For personal taste, and maybe it's got a recency bias. So you take what I'm saying with a grain of salt here, but I feel like this does. I'm certainly going to stick with my idea here and expand on this idea where they've taken some of the best things that they've done along the way and they kind of put it into one sort of thing here. We have jam, we have mustard, we have kind of like their P Funk stuff. We have a lot of the different elements that they do. You don't have the same kind of shredding, but you do have tastes of it throughout. You don't have the same extreme in your face mustard, but you're definitely getting some Grey Poupon here. I think that there is this maybe camp of people who like the different subsects of what it is that the Phish from Vermont do. And I think that people kind of ride or die on whether or not they do that or something like it, where and I am finding myself enjoying the kind of culmination of what it feels like their work is, because this also hits really really wonderful lyricism as you're going through. And I'm certainly finding that this is overwhelmingly a positive experience for me. It does not slap me in the face with a big like different kind of thing. And in fact, I like that this doesn't feel like designed for radio. It feels like almost like they wanted to try to get back to something that they were doing before. And I like feeling like the drums are really wailing. I do find myself missing some of the Trey stuff, but I feel like in place of that, we're seeing the other instrumentalists shine and maybe get a bit more like, love and attention, or just maybe they're standing out more for mix reasons. This feels like a really good studio rendition of what they do live. And I don't know, maybe I'm explaining that poorly, but I feel like even just simple things like I feel like they mic'd up the strings on their guitars, like their electric instruments, so you can hear the buzz of what the strings sound like when they're being plucked. And that's a small, delicate thing, but that's something I'm very distinctly hearing throughout this song is like the buzz of a string before it hits the amp. Um, and so there are little nuances to this sound that I really enjoy. Let me go back a little bit and comment. Listen in the left ear. You can hear the pick scrapings, and that is tasty, juicy stuff to me.
Pebbles and marbles like things on my mind. Pebbles and marbles like things on my mind. Like things on my mind.
That like see, you're getting accents of things that we really like Trey doing, like that guitar swell in, but it's like he's not running away with those moments. And I think that maybe those parts are what people say that they dislike. I don't know. Tell me why you don't like this album if you don't like this album, because I'm finding that song one has got me riveted. Ooh, yeah. Okay. I love that descent. And we've got this really loved that ending. I Pebbles and Marbles is a friggin' banger. Do people really not like it? Like is that one people don't like? Why? It's so good. I really do think that that really was like a culmination. That song is a jack of all trades and not a master of any particular thing, but it was wonderful because it brought a lot to the table. I enjoyed the frig out of that. When they play that live, do they expand on that, or is this one of those that were like it's really pretty? It is what you hear. Anything But Me is next. Love the bass walk.
I am just a satellite.
Talking to you, Dave Matthews Band.
Bouncing everything you say to someone who was meant to hear. Sometimes on a rainy day, I lie in bed and dream of you. So blame it on the satellite when your message can't get through. I am just a tiny wave, a minor ripple out at sea, moving slowly towards the shore, burdened with uncertainty. I'm gaining power, losing speed, wondering as I near your door, will you hold it open for the tidal wave approaching shore?
I like this concept of a ripple becoming a tidal wave approaching shore, and juxtaposing the idea of him nearing the door to that wave approaching the shore. But it almost feels like this is a comment on the fact that he knows he's bringing damage. This is certainly kind of a self-loather, right? I am just a satellite high above the atmosphere, bouncing everything you say to someone who is meant to hear. Sometimes on a rainy day, I lie in bed and dream of you. So blame it on the satellite when your message can't get through. I feel like it's almost like saying like nobody can get through to me, but I love you. And like even comparing yourself to a tiny wave, like a ripple being arguably the smallest of the waves, right? But then again, moving that lyrical idea is super nice. This doesn't strike me as an overtly like this seems like a different vibe for the boys, but it's not one I dislike, but it's a different vibe.
For the tidal wave approaching shore.
I like the lyrics though a lot. I also don't dislike the song just because
become an island in the hazy world surrounding me, offering a vast reward each time I safely cross the sea. All too often I become lost in the fog and haze, clinging still against my will to promises of clearer days.
You've become an island in the hazy world surrounding me, offering a vast reward each time I safely cross the sea. All too often, I become lost in the fog and haze, clinging still against my will to promises of clearer days. This concept really hits me between the eyes. And I think anybody that has been through like an addictive phase or like a phase of overcoming one's own addiction or addictions, whatever the case may be, I absolutely get hit in the face with this one. And it's not again like I'm currently in the midst of the shroud, right? Like but the idea of like you kind of find refuge in a person instead of like, taking care of yourself and like recognizing it's so rewarding when you do go out of your way and like do something that isn't self-destructive, but that like, I'm a hermit. When I get really sad, I disappear from everybody. And I know sometimes like I'll go and see family and be like, man, that was really great. I'm actually really glad I went and had dinner. Um, but then I end up just going back and hiding away in my little hidey holes, and that's something I have to like address, and I actively work on it. But this idea, all too often, I become lost in the fog and haze, clinging still against my will to promises of clearer days. It's like you want to change, and you're promising that you're going to do it, and you're like, you don't want to do it though. There's so much there, this clinging still to promises of better days. It's such a big chunk of imagery, like actually a huge chunk of imagery, because again it's acknowledging that you're holding on to the fact that you're making these promises but they're still against your will, even though you know that there is reward in a life that isn't, you know shrouded in fog and haze. I really do get hit hard by this. I do enjoy this one. It's a bluesy lamentation,
You've become an island in the hazy world surrounding me, offering a vast reward each time I safely cross the sea. All too often I become lost in the fog and haze, clinging still against my will to promises of clearer days. Just a raindrop that accelerates without control,
Because you're falling.
losing bits and pieces in descent till I'm no longer whole. I am just another shooting star above that you might see. Until I have your full attention, I'll be anything but me.
Wow.
Anything but me. Anything but me.
There's definitely a wrestling with what you are and who you feel you are.
Anything but me. Anything but me.
I feel like that last line there was really, really kind of profound. So this one is Round Room. So this is the title track. Let's hop into it. Listen to that arpeggiator. Arcade Fire, baby. Am I hearing a wood block?
My room is round when I lay down. When I wake up, it's square. When I go outside, it's on a spiral set of stairs. The people that surround me are waiting out there. Round room, they can't find me anywhere.
Wow. There's an element of this that reminds me a bit of Fool in the Rain by Zeppelin. My room is round when I lay down. When I wake up, it's square. This reminds me of what it's like to have the spins. If you've ever, I don't know. As a person who's had the spins a lot in his day, which is not something I'm like proud of, just something that's a fact. Like, I don't drink anymore, but I've laid down plenty and watched a square room become a circle because I feel like my brain is on a merry-go-round. And that happens, like, sometimes if you smoke and drink too much, if you don't respect the rules of the crossfade, sometimes you can get yourself into a spinny situation. And it kind of feels like that's what this is a comment on. I'm gonna have to hear more, but this certainly feels like what it's it's at least where my brain goes.
People that surround me are waiting out there. Around room, they can't find me anywhere.
Like, because when you're in the round room, it's like you're effed up, right? And like you're not yourself. And that's why they can't find you, because you're not you. I love this whistle track so much, though. But it certainly reminds me of Fool in the Rain a bit.
Rooms drive me crazier each day. Put me in a box, I know I'm never gonna play. Put me in a square room and I won't know what to say. I want a round room at the end of the day.
Bro.
I had an apartment, 4 corners on the wall. Couldn't sleep there at all. I want a curve to the place where I stay. I want a round room at the end of the day.
I think that this is a Page song, correct? Am I right? I feel like Page is singing. When you consider this an allegory of sobriety, this hits so hard. And maybe I am like projecting my own interpretation on it, but you cannot tell me that this does not just scream at you, you know, an allegory for what it's actually like to have a problem. Um, just as a stoner or a former stoner, I don't smoke anymore, but there was a time where like I couldn't do anything, I couldn't go anywhere, I couldn't see anybody, I couldn't go eat without being like, let's get high. And it didn't matter where, I was always lighting up before virtually any activity of my life because it was like I didn't feel good if I wasn't stoned. And, like I felt like for a long time I just used that as my excuse for smoking, being like, well, I don't feel good when without it. But then I was like, maybe I could learn to feel good without it. And not, that's me, right? That's not everybody. Not everybody self-medicates the way I realized I was. But it very similarly in my brain, the reason I'm speaking about this way is because I think I lived a long time feeling like I needed to be in a round room because I was afraid of what my life looked like in the square one. So it was a lot easier to just live in the round one and just kind of forget that the square one never existed, period. And I think that, I'm very thankful now to have like kind of come out of the round room and been able to reflect on it in the square room. And like, I don't know, just this idea that you couldn't do anything without being in the round room. And it's dancey. Like I want to, it's like kind of dancey. This chaos here.
If I pass out, take me to the round church where echoes resound and my spirit is found. And when I float high, take my arms and I'll fly you by the outskirts of town to a garden that's round.
Oh man. So at the tail end of that really cool piano, like offbeat piano kind of discordant walk, I just caught what Mike was doing. The bass line while Paige is doing this is gnarly good. Sorry, I just felt like I wanted to try to sing Fool in the Rain, and I realized in that very moment, along with all of the rest of you, that I'm not Robert Plant.
I went to the lighthouse and I liked the view. I looked out the window and
2,
I
3,
could see you. Put me in a square house and I won't have a clue. I want a round room just to be with you. I want a round room just to be with you.
I love this song a lot,
I want a round room just to be with you.
but for distinctly different reasons than I would like
I want a round
Pebbles
room
and
just
Marbles.
to be with you.
And the way it ends. This crescendo here of synth. It ended the same way it started. I loved that. That was a nice little friggin' touch, dude. This is Mexican cousin, okay. And by the way, shout out to all of my Mexican cousins. I actually have several, very multiracial family, which is cool.
Oh, tequila, I turn to you like a long lost friend. I wanna kiss my Mexican cousin once again.
Is tequila the Mexican cousin?
Cover every emotion, from happiness to sorrow, and the conversations I forget. You'll tell me about tomorrow when the phone calls start. Am I in bed or in a hearse? The things you tell me about myself can make me feel any worse. Well, I'm awful sorry you got pissed.
Okay.
Just have to cross you off the list of my true friends. And tequila's where that starts and where it ends. Mexican cousin again. Mexican cousin again. Mexican cousin again. Mexican cousin again. I wanna kiss your Mexican cousin again. I wanna kiss your Mexican cousin again. Wanna kiss
I love that
your
tone.
Mexican cousin again. I wanna kiss your Mexican cousin
He's so good, dude. Now, we're gonna run that back. You know, here's the thing. I was kind of thinking about while he was in the midst of that little ripper there. I think that maybe it's a different kind of soloing than we've heard him do before. This is more of a slow hand kind of solo style, right? It's less Santana, more Eric Clapton sort of style. And some people like the high intensity version of Santana. Other people like the kind of bluesier, more thoughtful, melodic sort of sound. Not to say that like Trey Tana's not a melodic guy when he's like, you know, shredding, but there is a difference in the delivery here, and this feels more like R&B soul guitar than it does like face melting guitar. But I like that too, because both of those types of guitar shredding have their place. I like it. I love that. Also, this album definitely feels like lamentations of one's own problems that were created by one's own self. And it's an interesting dynamic, dude. It's relatable if you've been there. I wanna kiss you. So this is Phriday. Nice bass sound here.
I crashed, I burned, but then I learned to keep my eye on you. You always say you'll lead the way, but then you never do. I slowed, I swerved, but lost my nerve and quickly looked away. When I looked then, the day was black. Then I heard you say, why is the sun hot and why does it rain? Why is there danger and why is there pain? Why can't the burden we carry go away? And why isn't it Friday today?
That is pretty. It's like you're asking the why of the reason. Like, why is the sun hot? Why does it rain? Like, you're asking about things that just are, you know? And not. I crashed, I burned, but then I learned to keep my eye on you. You always say you'll lead the way, but then you never do. I slowed, I swerved, but lost my nerve and quickly looked away. When I looked back, the day was black. Then I heard you say, why is the sun hot? Why does it rain? Why is there danger and why is there pain? Why can't the burden we carry go away? And why isn't it Friday today? In that question being asked in the same series, those questions being asked in the same series, of questioning, man, golly, that's hard and heavy, dude. Because I think a lot of people get themselves into these like binds, like especially in romantic coupling, where you kind of get in this like cyclic argument, and both of you are actually okay, but it's like you don't know how to move past it because you both like resolve in different ways, right? So things that make things okay are just different for either of you, and neither side is really getting it accomplished. And why can't the burden we carry go away? I think a lot of times it's like the answer is like us, like we're not addressing things in correct or appropriate ways. People want to focus more on maybe like being right than like figuring things out. And I can certainly say that coming from a perspective where like I watched my own addictions hurt those around me that I loved. And I realized in my own life that like I created a ton of problems for myself and then made myself the victim of that problem and carried the burden of my own problems as if it was baggage from others, when in reality it was my lack of addressing my own stuff. And I guess as I go through this album, I see that, right? And maybe that's a perspective I only get because I have hindsight now and like have tried really hard to not be what was. But, it doesn't change the fact that one can still remember being that person. Like I can still remember being that guy, even if it was a guy that was living less conscientiously, that was frequently like drunk and high. Like I can still remember being him, and I like when I look back, I can actually like see the real reasoning for why I was the way I was. And I think when you get to the point in your life where you have those that you love and care about basically saying like, why can't this burden we carry go away? I don't know, man. Big relatability to this whole album. And it's different because musically, like lyrically, super strong, musically different. Like I do find that I've kind of enjoyed bits and pieces of the music. Like I've certainly enjoyed every song, but it's like I would enjoy this album for different reasons than I would say enjoy Junta or certainly Rift or even Ghost. Like these earlier, golly goodness, I was sitting here just looking at the fact that like, you know, like Junta, whatever you want to call it, like all of these albums, what a strong friggin' run of albums as I'm sitting here looking at it. But this is certainly different, like as an album, than this or this or certainly this, right? So I can see the differences. I don't see the differences as something to like dislike the guys for or to like dunk on them for. It's like everybody has their right to an opinion, but like I don't see why I don't see the reason for the dunking.
Your lack of trust is hardly just, so do as you've been.
Hang on, I gotta find it. There it is.
Please follow me into the sea. Don't worry if it's cold. I knew right then my chance again had quickly slipped away. I crash, I cry, I burn, but I still follow anyway. Why is the sea cold? Why is it blue? Why do I stay here? Why is it you?
I heard him say it, but why is you is comical.
Notice the danger, don't help in any way. Why isn't it Friday today?
What a rhetorical question to ask. I actually really enjoy this concept. The music isn't as strong. The lyrics are incredibly strong. And it's not even all that well, you know what? Let me take it back when I said the music isn't as strong. There are moments of the music that I don't like as much as other Phish songs. But the lyricism is super super heavy and very much enjoying this.
I knew right then my chance again would quickly slip away.
You can hear that it feels like it's certainly a live take because you can kind of hear him like laughing or coughing.
I crash, I cry, I burn, but I still follow anyway.
I like this. I love that organ. I like. I wanted so much more out of the instrumental and the solo than I got. So perhaps I can see a lot of people feeling the same way as I just felt in that moment. This album has thus far kind of hit me where there have been great moments. I still think Pebbles and Stones so far is my favorite from this album as far as music goes, but I feel like there's almost, what am I trying to say here? There's like an emptiness to it in the music department. I almost feel like the lyrics are kind of the strongest instrument in this. And I'm in this. The other three I like better than the way I like Trey. In the sounds, like I feel like the other three are really, really, really shining. And like Trey's parts are kind of cool. Like at least in this song, like I really felt like our guy was gonna really run off with it, and he didn't run off with it. And so maybe this is what people mean when they say like this, isn't their favorite version of Phish, I guess. Maybe. That's ooh, 7 Below. Hella lyrics. Love this. Okay. I love the tone. I would normally say that's a guitar harmony because I'm hearing like the thirds on that, but I feel like that's got to be an octave pedal. Splinter and grow.
New crystals of snow. Seen several kinds. Through 7 Below.
I don't know what this is intended to mean. Maybe it's intended to mean nothing. But I'm digging the instrumental. I like this guitar tone a lot. overdub. I love this weird sound. That synth sound is so juicy good. A lot of dynamics here that make it kind of nice for a jam. Funk siren-y, swelly stuff. I guess he's not doing a funk siren here, but he's got that like sustain. Actually, maybe there is, because there is a little bit in the back. Love that. So there's this interesting like little kind of. Is he plucking or is that a delay? Or looping now. I like the way the timing goes here. There's, I guess, maybe like a bit of me that is kind of feeling like there are glimpses of their greatness throughout moments of this album, but in and of itself, to me, this has not been like this one hasn't been as much of a banger as some of the other albums have thus far. It's had great songs, great moments of relatability via lyricism, etc. but not screaming to me some of the ways some of the others have. In that same comment, I need to let it be known that like all fish is good fish, and I think that that's really what I'm walking away with. I'm not taking it as like I certainly don't feel like the dunking that I've seen done on this particular album is called for. I certainly don't think that, but I do see it is different, in good and bad ways in some places. We're definitely getting back to more mustardy Phish. Is that a plane I'm hearing? The chaos right now. I think the bass is probably my favorite part here. Doo-dee-doo-dee. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. It almost sounds like do-do-do-do-do-do. This didn't have a particular jam or vibe that sung to me. Like, I would like to see what this becomes if they do this in a live context, but that edition didn't turn me on. Okay. We transit. Didn't see it coming. Got totally punked. Really loved that. That felt like an homage to almost like Rift at the at the end of maybe Maze or Rift. But this moment totally kicked me right in the brain. Totally kicked me in the brain. Did not see that moment coming. Oh, okay. I like the kind of soulful vibe here. I feel like you can hear the buzz in the bass strings too. Oh man, that was clean.
Zither, Rachel, cardamom, frost. But at what cost? Threshold skin, fortress wind. A life of sin, pliers, tension, toy store grace. The human race, breaking 14 basket screw. Now how about you? Village starboard, razor and stop. A better crop, field cater, mock song. It's a mock song.
I actually like this one. It's kind of a postmodern take of writing, but I enjoy it. There's just a kind of happy vibe to it.
Just a mock song. It's a mock song. Zephyr is thirsty big.
Love this
A
part.
bone to pick, a fountain, egg, trees and cave.
The round
Will
here.
you dance on grave? Belt carrot meeting choke. I got that joke. Temper thistle Rodney wilt. The house I built, fewer pink Kyle balls. I've known them all. Penny thistle, cell phone blow. Reap what you sow, 'cause it's a mock song.
I dig this.
It's just a mock song. It's just a mock song. It's just a mock song.
This has such a soulful kind of southern rock like anthem sort of thing. And when I say anthem, I don't mean in terms of like Sweet Home Alabama. I mean, like I don't know, like more of a sentimental simple man kind of vibe. There's just some kind of good feeling to this uplifting piano behind it, and it almost feels nonsensical, and like you can make sense of it if you try hard. Like you can connect these juxtaposed words together however you might want. um but there's just something nice about it really does again have like a postmodern lyric feel to it, an element of absurdism, but also it seems serious. And I like that they present these like kind of nonsensical things with this kind of soulful spirited music. And I love that bluesy sound. It's one of my favorite moments on the album so far.
It's just a mock song.
Comically serious sounding and like sentimental feeling music for comically absurd words.
It's just a mock song.
But I love that contrast.
It's a mock song. It's just a mock song. Call it what you will.
Call it what you will. I liked that a lot. Mock Song was dope, dude. I loved that one. Give me the cowbell, scat. Like that tone. Gotta have more cowbell. love the organ. We certainly, I feel, certainly have more of a southern rock sort of vibe here. Like, I feel like our boys from like up the north in Vermont, like wrote this as they were touring through like the South.
Leave autumn sold me out. 46 days and the cold ran out.
Okay.
Please come round here another day, or sit yourself down when you're ready to stay. She dug down when they took the town, looking for clues but they couldn't be found. She found out she was ready to roll. 47 days and the cold came on. Taste
Dang.
for the devil's drawing near.
Did you hear the piano run right into that?
For the devil's drawing near.
Yes.
Taste the fear, for the devil's drawing near. 46 days and the cold ran out. 46 days and the cold ran out. 46 days and the cold ran out. 46 days and the cold.
I really love that Page's work in the organ. I say this all the time, but there's just a special sound in my brain when I hear that Hammond sound. I love the instrumentation. I don't know what the song might be about other than the coal running out.
46 days and the cold went out. 46 days and the cold went out. 46 days and the cold went out. 46 days and the cold went out. 46
Love that.
Lead photo sold me out. 46 days and the cold ran out. Please come round here another day. Sit yourself down when you're ready to stay. They dug down when they took the town, looking for clues but they couldn't be found. We found out she was ready to roll. 46 days and the cold came on. Taste the fear.
This gets big.
For the devil's drawing.
They really, really sent in the cowbell for this song.
Taste the fear of the devil's drawing. 46 days and the cold went out. 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 46 days and the cold went out.
love the guitar bit. 46 days is good. So the thing is, I'm hearing a lot of really cool stuff from a lot of the other boys, right? Like the homies are doing a great job. Don't get me wrong. But what's frustrating to me is that there's not like been one song where I thought to myself, that was like one of my favorite things I've ever heard Trey do. This is lacking that particular je ne sais quoi. 46 days, like the album, it sounds good, but it doesn't feel like it full sends like some of the other stuff like that we hear them do. I do feel like the other guys get a much bigger focus in this album, which has me really excited for the other guys, but there is a distinct and noticeable thing kind of lacking. All of these dreams. Actually, I'm going to use the restroom. Be right back. All right, we back. Now, I'm just going to start the 7 seconds over. Here we go. All of these dreams. Okay.
There is a
This is like the most deady sounding I've heard them.
place on the mountain nearby, deep in a cave, but it's up rather high. There in the darkness are safely concealed all of the dreams that you never revealed.
Wow.
And if you go there, and after you do, all of these dreams would be yours to pursue. The rest of your lifetime devoid of a care. If you keep your eyes open, you may find yourself there.
This is a good one. There's a place on the mountain nearby, deep inside a cave, but it's rather high. There in the darkness are safely concealed all of the dreams that you never revealed. And if you go there, and after you do, all these dreams would be yours to pursue. The rest of your lifetime, devoid of a care, if you keep your eyes open, you may find yourself there. I really, really, really like that. And I do think it's a beautiful comment on like actually like going after your dreams and not like giving up on yourself. In my context, I feel like the last year of my life has certainly been proof that like if I just decide I don't really care about what the world around me thinks, but I do care about, what I think. I don't know, there's something truly significant about that. And when I started pursuing what felt natural to me and like, you know, fulfilling to my heart and like my passions, I found myself a lot freer of things that felt imprisoning to me. And so I do feel like there's certainly an element of like, and not for, I mean, further than dreams. I mean, consider the things that you actually want. Like, be introspective about your life for a bit, and look at it and be like, what am I mindlessly doing that I don't need to be doing? Like, what could be better? How am I contributing to my own bad life? And when you ask yourself those questions and you start thinking like, what is it that I actually want? And if the answer is I don't know, like exploring what that might be that you actually want. I find that this maybe I went in the last year of my life and found that cave. And in pursuing the things that make me happy, I have found myself. Cheesy, maybe. Cliche, certainly, but true nonetheless. May the same be true for you.
Such is the promise, such is the curse. You could just live your life, better or worse.
What?
Knowing the Cashapp dreams up on that hill beckons and sways, but won't bend to your will. You might find a river under a mountain that feeds a remote subterranean fountain. Drink from this taste, just a hint of a dream that somehow leaked into the underground stream. And if you go there, and after you do, all of these dreams would be yours to pursue. The rest of your lifetime devoid of a care. If you keep your eyes open,
I love these piano runs behind it. Yes.
And if
Nope. Maybe. Wow. This is really singing to my soul, dude.
And if you go there, and after you do, all of these dreams would be yours to pursue. The rest of your lifetime devoid of a care. If you keep your eyes open, you may find yourself there. If you keep your
I love
heart open.
May you find yourself there as well. Guys, I have a thought after this. I've been all over on this album saying like I get it, I don't get it, I get it, I don't get it. I had this thought as I was listening to this particular one, and I've talked about this concept quite a bit on my stream about music death, right? And how at a certain point people get to this place in their lives where they listen to the same like 100 200 song playlist. It may not all be in the same place on a playlist, but they effectively listen to like 200 songs that they've liked over the course of their life, and those are like the best ones. And it feels like it's enough to where you don't feel like you're hearing songs on repeat, but effectively you are listening to the same X amount of songs on repeat. And I was thinking about the fact that this came out in 2002, and some people by this point have followed Phish for years. And I wonder if maybe in their own way there was this experience of musical death where nothing sounded good outside of the first X amount of times, or great experiences, or like the music suffered by comparison because you were no longer in a phase of life that felt fun, exciting, significant, or whatever. Like maybe people changed just the same as the band did. And those changes were not as welcomed because perhaps they were not as freeing or liberating, or they didn't come with the same set of memories others did. um and this is just me like tossing an idea here, but that's kind of what it strikes me as. Anyways, it's a possibility at any rate. Maybe I'm just talking out of my butt. I don't know. Walls of the Cave. Kind of getting bigger there. Let's go, Paige. Love the stick click. Ooh. I'm digging this. Dun 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 dun. The tom run here is fun. Okay.
I'm leaving you a message. I'm leaving you a trace. I'm leaving thoughts for you. I hope that time will not erase.
Okay.
And when the moment comes to read the words that I engrave, you'll find them on the walls of the cave.
Okay. Well, I wonder what the cave is here. Do you have an idea what you think the cave is?
I know you heard the question, but you didn't make a sound. And when it fell, you caught my heart before it hit the ground. But if you ever need the names of those you couldn't save, you'll find them on the walls of the cave. You'll find them on the walls of the cave. Look at me, time stands still. The mountain here is now a hill.
I'm kind of having a hard time connecting what I think the lyricism here might mean. And like I think maybe the song is suffering because I'm having a hard time finding it.
These rocks will fall away at last. Look away. Maybe you will see it as you're passing by alone. Below the moss, forgotten, where some words adorn a stone. There might have been an etching on a marker of a grave, or maybe on the walls of the cave.
Okay. Nice little, totally out of the blue. Boom.
Listen to the silent trees.
I love the drums here.
Float on the breeze. Look away. I've seen them all carved into the cavern wall. Listen to the silent trees. Listen to the silent trees.
I like that. Wow. There's some chaos here.
Listen to the silent trees.
Guys, this had mustard, but this wasn't my favorite mustard. So we've got 2 songs left, and thus far, I'm not gonna lie, this has not been like my favorite Phish album. It seems to have really wonderful glimpses riddled throughout, right? But not hitting me as wonderfully and deeply as some others have. But again, there's like fantastic moments, and all Phish is good Phish to me. But it's not similarly as special to me. The lyrics and everybody but Paige is really shy. No, I didn't mean everybody but Paige. I meant everybody but Trey. I honestly, guys, I feel like there's a lot of good to it, and it's still a good album. In terms of music, it's still a great album, but it's not Phish's best to me. Nice.
I need a new way to express myself, so you don't need to guess.
Wow.
What otherwise I'd say aloud and watch it float just like a cloud. High up above you like a thunderhead, but you would just look down instead and wait till foggy skies appear and vapor clouds all dissipate.
Like, what a great moment.
And when with them all my words were you have softly sublimated too, and you'll just hope that I've moved on, so you'll look up and find me
I hear like tiny little moments that feel like homage to the song All of My Love by Led Zeppelin, but again, I'm sure that's not the case. Clarky, you whiny boy. All right, give me one moment. All right, my guy's good. Okay. Bump my camera. So this is the closer. This is Waves. It's another 11-minute banger to close her down. This already feels like something I'm excited about. Yeah. I love this intro and walk-in. And the sound of the waves is like choice. The bass walking throughout this whole thing has also been incredibly nice. But when and you've got this really nice ride work from Fishman. Like, this is already a song I'm really excited about. The conversation between Trey and Paige is great here.
See the waves that bring her words to me. For though unseen they drift around, they catch my breath and knock me down. I feel them quickly swirling by as they withdraw with my reply.
And I think maybe based on the way this conversation is, this song and lyrics are going, the concept waves is like you're making waves, and like making waves can be seen in a good or a bad context, right? Like making waves, you're really making a big impact, or you're creating waves, like you're making it hard to do what we're trying to accomplish here. And I like that there is that almost double intention here. And like your words are kind of creating waves, right? And like he's saying he never sees the waves that bring the words to her, but he still, like, you know, he still gets knocked down by them. He just doesn't see them. So it's like the words knock him down even if he's not seeing the waves. Like, and I feel like this is from the negative context of like making waves.
Through the dark of night as I attempt to stay upright.
And like he's talking about being effed up here, trying to stay upright.
Instead I'm stranded on my knees as words depart upon the breeze that quickly drifts away from here and possibly won't reach her ear if we could see the many waves that flow through clouds and sunken caves.
Wow. This idea of waves and clouds is also really interesting to me because you do have, and like the water in the sky idea is also like certainly there, but the waves of the water, yeah, no, I like this. This is a good one.
She'd sense at least the words that sought her on the wind and underwater.
And are we gonna close on a 6-minute jam? Progressive build-up happening, and then you're hearing these little additions get thrown in throughout. It's so far been a pretty tame jam. Want it to go off. Like, take it another level from here. Let's go. I'm waiting for him to come in and like break the songs back with something, but it's just not happening yet. Like right now. Stick the landing, fellas. All right, come on, do it. Do it. Do it. Just set it off. Just. You still got like over a minute.
Instead I'm stranded on my knees as words depart upon the breeze that quickly drifts away from here and possibly won't reach her ear if we could see the many waves that flow through clouds and sunken caves. She'd sensed at least the words that sought her on the wind and underwater.
It didn't get huge.
On the wind and underwater. On the wind and underwater. On the wind and underwater. On the wind and underwater.
I like that they just ended it with Fishman there. Guys, I think that my business with this particular album is that there was not a moment in this album where I was like, this was one of my favorite Phish things I've ever heard. There wasn't a moment in the album where I was like, I want to immediately try to recreate that. I related to so much of the imagery in this album. I related to a lot of different bits that were super, super good. But this album was more of a album that had good moments on it. And it did seem different. I still contend that all Phish music is good. Like all Phish is good Phish. This was not favorite Phish, and that's fine. Like I enjoyed songs. I will absolutely give this more listens. I certainly, as I'm looking back, Pebbles and Marbles was probably my favorite from the album. I really enjoyed the song Round Room because I related. I could see it. I understood it. I felt understood by it. I enjoyed Mock's song and Mexican Cousin for kind of the fun parts about it, but it didn't have as many things that just overtly connected with me. And so many of the times I wanted, you know, the band Phish to happen, the moments just kind of continued on. And I felt like maybe there were certain moments that the band Phish didn't happen along the way. Either way, it was still a great album. I'm very excited to continue on with my journey. And if you've been here along the way, thank you for being here. It really does mean the world to me. And if you happen to see me at Hollywood, if you happen to be there, come say hello. I obviously, like when the show is on, like let the show be on. But like I'll definitely be participating in Shakedown. So come say what up. If you happen to see me and a really cute girl, she's with me. Come say hi. Guys, I love you. Thank you for being here. Thank you so much for the positivity that you show both to me and to one another. Continue to be the best. And until I see you next, be introspective and consider the birds. And whatever you do, take care of your shoes. Goodbye.